Alright, sweet. So now we're going to look at how to actually isolate the arm. Cool? Yeah, because it's one thing having those mechanisms nice and tight, but we've got to be able to isolate an arm, right? No one's going to give it to you. Okay? So what will happen is this quite often. Cool? There's a couple of things that we can look at. There's one we're going to really focus on today because it is probably the best one. Alright? But one easy thing to do, if you're like struggling here and you can't get those elbows out there, they're locked in like this, have a look at which one's on the bottom, because if I drive this way, it just drives into his hand. This one is not, okay? So this is the one that I should be attacking to isolate. If I do that, I don't want to go this way. I'm not sure why it works, but it just works so much better. Turn your hand the other way, okay? Once I'm here, I can really drive that down and isolate it. Cool? He'll fight to get that back, but it exposes the elbow. Cool? And at that point, I can lock underneath, swim through to here. Cool? Now I've got him here. I want to get this elbow up high, okay? I want to make sure that I keep this nice and tight, so if I feel like I'm like slouching or losing it, I'll just get in tight and I'll wiggle that around again. Cool? And I'll try and get under here as soon as I can, right? Because this is now really strong for me. I can actually apply pressure there, which is not nice. All right? So at this point, I'm going to be making sure my hand's flat to the ground, okay? Don't expect your hand to do all the work, because if he resists for me, I can do a little bit, but I ain't going to beat his arm here, all right? The bit that beats it, this just holds it in place. Is that excellent anchor to me, okay? What gets his arm moving is actually lifting my elbow up, and I do that by driving my shoulder and my head over his body. So you resist there, cool, bring like that, and then I walk it through, cool, follow a little bit, cool, get to here, right, it's resisting, I can't get any further, so I go up, and I go that way, okay? And now, once I get to that collarbone, weak, real weak, okay? Cool, so I make sure my body's nice and tight to him, because I don't want him to slip through this gap, and do one big one over that way. And now that's done. Cool. When I get to here, connect to my elbow. Cool. This just means I don't have to use strength to hold him in place now. And he's the one that'll be struggling. They'll be bucking around, but that's okay. You just hold on tight. Cool. Get nice and low. Flatten out. Sweet. Grapevine if you need to. But the next step here, all right, is we squeeze together and we get our chin on the other side. Cool. So get down to here. Now that I'm here, I can afford to let this go now, and I can hold it, and I can work my way down. Cool. From here, it's the same mechanism. All right. So we hold in, drive them across. This will be nice and tight now. Cool. I get nice and low. And if you've got it tight, you can probably finish without connecting your hands, is what we talked about, okay? So I'm in here, drop, knee in, right, and now hold in there. And even with his hand in, it's on A. Yeah. So you can see it's not a squeeze, all right? It's just body position, making sure that elbow's on the ground over here, as deep as we can at the start. Bring the arm up and use blocks the whole time, right? So when we're working our way up here, don't resist this time. We work our way up here, block, block, bang, get it all the way across. Get to here, block in here. So now I've got a wedge. Get across, get a block. Like I'm really trying to not use strength the whole time and he's struggling. Cool, wedge, down, wedge, all the way until I'm happy. Drive him across, get under deep in here if you need to. Get in, sweet. Now I'm locked in. You can do without the other hand. Cool. Get there, dismount, knee to his hip, step away, drop the hip and look towards him. Didn't even get to the ground. Cool. So we're going to work on getting those arms out, all right? Don't worry too much about the finishing mechanism. If you get there, try and finish it, but don't spend 30 seconds at the top, okay? Because we'll try and bring them together. What I want you to really focus on is getting that arm up there. Cool? If you've done it right and you set this up deep at the start, you'll probably be okay. Alright? So what we're going to ask our partners to do is not fight in terms of getting these out, but once we're under here, we want them to try and bring this down. Okay? Because I want you to learn the movement is, it's not this way, because look, pop. It goes in. It's across his body here. Across his body. Cool? So I'm using my shoulder and my head every time, that way. And now he's got no room to sneak in. If I stay too light, he can come inside. Okay? Just staying down low, driving it across. Cool. Staying tight to him the whole time. Okay? So I don't mind how this arm gets in here. It can be the way we just talked about. Cool. Dropping it down there. Cool. I don't want high resistance from this guy. It might be that we hop up and threaten a choke at the top so his hands come up. He's got to defend that now. So now I can pop underneath. Find whatever way you want to get that arm up there. But yeah, the easiest way, break across, block, walk your way up. It's the most likely scenario as well. Cool. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes each. No resistance from our opponent until we're here. At that point, provide enough to make it difficult for them. So if you can go full strength and they still keep taking your arm, give them full strength to work with. If you're like this and it's locked, think about why. Is it because you're too strong, or is it because they're not coming across the body? All right? Because this way he's strong too. Like if I try and take his arm straight up, it's just like impossible. Right? If I try to take it that way, possible. All right? Cool? So think about why are you staying put. Be a good training partner and tell your mate, hey, you're not coming across my body. You're not taking my elbow away. All right? Cool? Happy with that? 3 minutes each? Cool. 3, 2, 1.